IELTS ਦੀ ਰੀਡਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਰੂ ਫਾਲਸ ਨਾਟ ਗਿਵਨ ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਸੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਨਫਿਊਜ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਸੋਲਵ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ। ਹੁਣ ਮੇਨਲੀ ਜੋ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਾਫੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ, ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਆ ਜੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਫਾਲਸ ਆਨਸਰ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੀ, ਨਾਟ ਗਿਵਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾਟ ਗਿਵਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੀ, ਫਾਲਸ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਕਨਫਿਊਜ਼ਨ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਫਸਟ ਆਫ ਆਲ ਵੀ ਵਿਲ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਰੂ ਫਾਲਸ ਨਾਟ ਗਿਵਨ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਯੈਸ ਨੋ ਨਾਟ ਗਿਵਨ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਕੀ ਨੇ। These tasks either ask you to identify the writer's views or claims in the text or identify information in the text. So you will be given a list of statements which are either opinions or facts, and you have to decide for type 1 if they are opinions, whether they are the opinions of the writer or not given in the text. Type 2 if they are facts, whether they are true, false, or not given in the text. For type 1, the writer's views may not be directly stated, so you may have to work out what is implied. So the questions will be in the same order as the text. For example, if this is the first question, like in first to five, I got true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given. So I will find these answers in my passage in sequence. So those will be in the order. Okay. So it's not like a question, the answer first paragraph which hai, second the answer third paragraph hai, then last the which hai. So those will come into sequence only. How to prepare for IELTS reading, right? So especially yes, no, not given. Do the following statements reflect, this is the type 1, okay? Do the following statements reflect the situation as described by the writer in the reading passage? Yes, no, not given. Increasing the tunnel toll of the new tunnel will result in more people using the other tunnels. The congestion at peak hours was worse before the new tunnel was built. The cost of running a car does not deter purchasing. Now there are type 2, right? Most people spend about 2 hours a day traveling to and from work. The problems of road rage have doubled in the last 10 years. More road accidents happen where drivers are familiar with the roads. So now how to do yes, no, not given, or true, not given, false. Read the instructions carefully. Quickly read through all the statements to get an idea about the topic. Read the first statement more carefully. Underline the keywords so you understand the main point. Search for the section of the text which deals with the idea or fact. Once you have found the relevant section, read it carefully. For type 1, if the statement disagrees with the writer's opinion, then select no. And if the author does not give an opinion, select not given. For type 2, if the statement is the opposite to the information in the text, then select false. And if there is no mention of it, select not given. So now here is one paragraph. So we will read it and we will find answers from this paragraph. The concept of releasing aerosol sprays into the stratosphere above the Arctic has been proposed by several scientists. This would involve using sulfur or hydrogen sulfide aerosols so that sulfur dioxide would form clouds, which would in turn lead to global dimming. The idea is modeled on historic volcanic explosions, such as that of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines in 1991, which led to a short-term cooling of global temperatures by 0.5 degrees Celsius. Scientists have also scrutinized whether it is possible to preserve the ice sheets of Greenland with reinforced high-tension cables, preventing icebergs from moving into the sea. Meanwhile, in the Russian Arctic, geoengineering plans include the planting of millions of birch trees, whereas the region's native evergreen pines shade the snow and absorb radiation. Birches would shed their leaves in winter, thus enabling radiation to be reflected by the snow. Rerouting Russian rivers to increase cold water flow to ice forming areas could also be used to slow down warming, say some climate scientists. So now here I have some questions. Many scientists thought it was irrelevant to release the aerosol sprays into the stratosphere above the Arctic. We read this statement in the first line only. Second statement is sulfur dioxide. Now we also read sulfur dioxide in our paragraph, right? So sulfur dioxide aerosols will lead to global dimming. Climate scientists say that rerouting Russia's river will not only increase the water flow in the ice forming area, but will also help in slowing down the warming. Planting of birch trees in the Arctic region will absorb the radiation. The historic volcanic explosions on Mount Pinatubo in Philippines occurred in the year 1991. So, aerosol sprays, Arctic, stratosphere. Then I have sulfur dioxide and global dimming. Then we have climate scientists rerouting Russian rivers, warming, ice forming. Then we have in fourth question we have birch trees, Arctic region, radiation. Fifth, historic volcanic explosions, Mount Pinatubo, Philippines in 1991. These are the keywords I need to find in the paragraph. This is how I will locate my answers, right? Very easy to find. So, according to me, true, false, not given are the most easiest questions since we only have to read and understand what the statement or question states, right? So let's see. Now, this is the first question. Many scientists thought it was irrelevant to release the aerosol sprays into the stratosphere above the Arctic. So read the line which I have taken from our passage. The concept of releasing aerosol sprays into the stratosphere above the Arctic has been proposed by several scientists, right? So now, if several scientists have proposed this idea of releasing aerosol spray into the stratosphere, how it can be relevant, right? For many scientists. So answer is false. Look at the second question. Sulfur dioxide aerosols will lead to global dimming. It was clearly given. This would involve using sulfur or hydrogen sulfide aerosols so that sulfur dioxide would form clouds, which would in turn lead to global dimming. True. Look at the third question. Climate scientists say that rerouting Russian rivers will not only increase the water flow in the ice forming areas but will also help in slowing down the warming. Rerouting Russian rivers to increase cold water flow to ice forming areas could also be used to slow down warming, say some climate scientists. So it increases cold water flow, which is will not only increase the water flow but will also help in slowing down the warming, could also be used to slow down warming. It is given line to line. So true. Look at the fourth question. Planting of birch trees in the Arctic region will absorb the radiation. So now I will see birch trees given there. So radiation is given there, right? Scientists have also scrutinized whether it is possible to preserve the ice sheets of Greenland with reinforced high tension cables preventing icebergs from moving into the sea. Meanwhile, in the Russian Arctic, geoengineering plans include the planting of millions of birch trees. There is nowhere mention of birch trees absorbing the radiation, right? So answer is not given. Look at the question fifth. The historic volcanic explosion on Mount Pinatubo in Philippines occurred in the year 1991. Right? So I have this statement. The idea is modeled on historic volcanic explosions such as that of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines in 1991. Clearly, historic volcanic explosions such as Mount Pinatubo in Philippines in 1991. Obviously, it occurred in 1991. So my answer is true. So this is how we can solve a true, false, and not given. Follow us for more updates.